Hello, voters of Kitchener Centre. My name is Jean Balfour, and I'm your Libertarian candidate in this by-election. I believe that the number one problem in Canada today is that we have way too much government. I've been advocating for less government for a long time, and I offer exactly the opposite of what the Liberals, the Green Party, and the NDP want. They want to offer you more free stuff, quote unquote. They want to tax you more, they want to regulate you more, and in effect, they want to control you more. In 1961, my parents were raising 5 children. We had a home. My mother was at home raising the kids. My father was the only breadwinner. At that time, our family income forfeited 38% of annual earnings to all 3 levels of government. In 2019, I ran in another election, and by that time, that percentage had gone from 38% in 1961 to 53% 5 years ago. That's a 15% difference. That's likely enough for you to buy a house if you don't have one, raise a family, or save for retirement. A growing number of Canadians are watching the quality of their life decline, except for, of course, the very rich. Here's the most important question for you to ask yourself in this election. If you were able to keep 70% of your annual earnings every year, and only give up 30% to all 3 levels of government, what would you do with that extra money? Would you be able to buy a home if you don't have one today? Would you provide better food for your family? Could you provide a better quality of education for your kids? These are very fundamental questions, and this is the one question I want to leave you with, because it really hinges on everything else in our life and what kind of quality of life we have today in this country. So consider voting Libertarian. Thanks.
Hello, Kitchener. This is Mark Dixon. I'm running to be elected as your next member of provincial parliament on November the 30th. This is so important for me because I love Ontario. Ontario has been good to me, and I want to give back to my province of birth. Kitchener needs to have a member of provincial parliament who truly cares for the people. I care and will serve to the best of my abilities. And every month, from the very first month of being elected, I will give 50% of my take-home salary to your chosen charities. That's right. If you make your mark for Mark Dixon, I, being elected, once elected, will give half of my salary, not just the first month, but for every month as a sitting MPP, to give to your local charities. Vote for Mark Dixon on November 30th. Make your mark for Mark, and I'll take care of the rest for you. Let's stand, let's love Ontario, and also stand in support of Israel during these trying times. Make your mark for Mark and show your support for not only Ontario, but that you support, stand, and love Israel too. markdixon.ca is my web address, markdixon.ca. Take a look at my website today and give me your vote November 30th.
Freedom, personal responsibility, fairness, and respect. Those are the pillars we stand for. I'm Mario Greco, and I'm running for the Kitchener Centre by-election on behalf of the Populist Party Ontario, PPO, a provincial party inspired by the values of the Federal People's Party of Canada, PPC. Our platform involves revisiting and challenging government emergency-level measures, like we saw with COVID-19, that overrode the individual rights enshrined in our Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Our healthcare system must reinstate proper, fully informed consent to patients to be aware of all options and risks without coercion. Furthermore, we must introduce equal-weighted inclusion of healthcare professionals from all modalities of health, such as naturopathic doctors, chiropractors, and nutritionists. Your natural health matters more than the pockets of pharmaceutical bureaucrats, hence why we will prioritize research on nutritional healthy foods and natural remedies over chemically engineered drugs and inoculations. our action plan for homelessness must result in a sustainable end goal, helping the homeless get back on their feet as contributing members of society. People find themselves homeless for a myriad of reasons, and help must be provided in congruence with their circumstance. But above all, we believe the number one method to solve homelessness is to focus our care and attention on the children, as every homeless person today was once a child. In keeping with the Caitlin Sampson principle, every child deserves the right to be seen and heard, free from abuse, manipulation, and irreparable harm. Family, school, the community at large, and parents especially must all be involved in fostering their child's growth toward a healthy, happy life. Parents and children must be granted the option of school choice, subsidized access to alternative education like pod learning and homeschooling, and an assurance that no child will ever go hungry or be neglected. We will focus educational efforts to teach children reading, writing, arithmetic, and life skills such as gardening, self-defense, coding, personal finance, taxes, social etiquette, and more. We will challenge the forced implementation of theories like SOGI 123 foisted on minors by adults, and instead encourage the true self-advocacy in each unique child, whoever they are and however they are. Let kids be kids and let kids have fun. By fostering a healthy child-centric society, we will end up with a future society of healthy adults. Thank you for listening to our message, and whether we're elected or not, we look forward to continue serving the people, however which way we can. Please support us in this effort. Vote Mario Greco for the Populist Party Ontario PPO in Kitchener Centre on November 30th, 2023. Thank you, and God bless.
Hello, my name is Lionel Wayne Poizner, and I am the Party for People with Special Needs candidate running in this coming election. Our mission is to support the special needs community in any way we can. There are a lot of people in our community that need our help. Inflation is making it hard for many families to put a roof over their heads, food on the table, and gas in their cars. Even heating their homes now is a problem, and we have a Canadian winter to deal with. The food banks are serving record numbers of people. Small businesses are closing at an increasing rate. Households in this province are depleting their savings and increasing their debt. Students are struggling too. Grade school children are being groomed by a woke agenda and taught to hide things from their parents. College and university students are accumulating massive debt to pay for school. At all levels of virtual learning is being forced on students, and for many it doesn't work. Seniors are struggling. They're having trouble getting access to critical resources and services. Some on fixed incomes are living hand to mouth. Veterans are sleeping on the streets, and tent communities are popping up in every major city in our province. There is no need to vote strategically. Voting in this by-election will not affect who is premier or how laws are passed. It can, however, change who represents you and make sure your issues and concerns are presented to those that govern. I hope you consider me as a viable alternative, and I would make every effort to ensure your issues are recognized and dealt with by government. Please get your friends, your family, your voting age children out to vote and give me a chance to make a difference. Vote for Lionel Wayne Poizner, Party for People with Special Needs. Contrary to popular belief, your vote matters.
Hello, my name is Spencer Rocky, and I will be running in the upcoming Kitchener Centre by-election. The first part of my platform I want to talk about is voter reform. I've been running on the concept of voter reform several times for the Rhino Party and for the Longest Ballot Committee. I don't believe that representative democracy is true democracy. I feel that the real problem is the fact that people think they need a leader at all. We also have the first past the post issue where regions are broken up for voting, and more densely populated regions will hold less voting power than less densely populated regions, which is also unfair. I would like to see direct democracy where everybody has the same level of voting power and they can all vote on the issues they want. But there are other forms of democracy that would be far better than what we have now. So that's the first thing I'd like to address. The second thing I'd like to talk about is the elephant in the room, capitalism. We need to find a way to change this system. Right now, we have growth for the sake of growth, which is the same mentality as a cancer cell. And if you notice, that's what's happening. All the resources are going up to the very small percent at the top while the body is dying off, the working class is dying off. And that's capitalism is the reason why we have colonialism, exploitation, low wages, environmental destruction, and finally, climate change. It's a main driver of climate change. We have to find a way to attack the pocketbook, to attack the bank's accounts of the corporate powers that make these decisions, that are stopping us from divesting from fossil fuels, that are stopping us from making better decisions. We also have to start making individual decisions that are tough. People don't want to hear this, but having a child in the global north is the worst decision that somebody can make for the climate change crisis. And there's also an ethical issue of having a child versus the climate change crisis. We can also hopefully find a way to hurt the pocketbook by not producing cheap and exploited and free labor for the wealthy class. Thank you. Have a good day.
All great saints sought the same remedy on earth as in heaven. Jesus spoke in parables so they don't understand, because to him who has abundance will more be given, and from him without abundance, even what he has will be taken away. 7 times most cited in Scripture. The parable of the talents says, the kingdom of heaven will be like, and then he describes where 3 slaves get into debt, 2 successfully pay back double, but the third repays only the principal and stiffs the master for any increase. The master repeats the law of abundance and says, you should have repaid me with interest. Throw him into the alley where men weep and gnash their teeth. So does heaven have alleys where men weep and gnash their teeth? That describes how interest is a bank account takes from the poor to give to the rich, banking on earth as in hell. Kingdom of heaven is described in Paul Corinthians 2. Your abundance should at the present time be a supply for their want, so that their abundance may later be a supply for your want. In that way, he who gathers much doesn't have too much, and he who gathers little doesn't have too little, that there be equality. It's how he ran his commune, the poor. Could Star Trek science officer Spock, with the math to figure out the winningest way to go, say he was the Messiah who could reprogram banking on earth as in heaven to finish Jesus' mission to save the poor? If Mr. Spock could at Computer Central all alone upgrade bad code to save a planet from the danger zone, no help be needed from the low-tech others with no clue what Spock could do, the engineer says, I can do it too. To give us banking on earth as in heaven, I ran in 109 elections. I asked dozens of courts, including the Supreme Court 6 times, and I financed the Let's Time Bank software. Can you name anyone with a better claim to being the Messiah by working on banking on earth as in heaven? Wild, isn't it?